Atlanta news first. Plus, starts now with a First Alert Weather Day.
And that First Alert Weather Day on this Sunday morning is for the dangerous cold out there this morning. We have been seeing this really all weekend, and it is continuing into this morning. And here is a live look over Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International. The airport was busy yesterday, of course. Unfortunately, there were some cancellations, but overall, the city itself escaped the big snowstorm. But just east of Metro Atlanta, we saw several inches of snow out there, and the Carolinas even saw as much as a foot of snow in and around the Charlotte area. But I want to start this morning with an extreme cold warning. These are basically the step above a cold weather advisory that we've seen a couple of times this season, and the extreme cold warning is basically issued for the worst of the cold, and that's looking at when wind chills get down to below zero and even as low as minus 15 in the Georgia mountains. Now, thankfully, I think we're kind of past the absolute worst of the cold. That happened around daybreak this morning, but if you have stepped outside yet, you know it's still pretty brutally cold out there. But again, this extreme cold warning is valid until 1 o'clock this afternoon. And again, it's because of that very, very dangerous cold. So that's the reason that the First Alert Weather Day continues today, is that cold is going to continue all day long. The temperatures here in a second, you'll see them, not going to get much above freezing. We are trending milder next week with some rain. Yes, just plain old rain. We have no ice, we have no snow, no sleet, nothing in that part of the forecast coming up next week. But we do have some rain on the way that will impact parts of your plans, and we'll talk about that too coming up here in just a minute. It's 14 degrees in Blairsville this morning, 17 in LJ. We've made it out of the teens in Atlanta. We're up to 22. It's 20 over in Athens. You saw several areas of snow yesterday, but the feels like temperature is what matters most, especially when the wind is blowing like it is today and like it was yesterday. The temperature with the wind chill is 5 degrees in Canton. It is 7 degrees in Atlanta, 10 degrees in Covington, 8 degrees in Griffin. And the winds are going to continue to be gusty today. Not as gusty as yesterday. The airport, which, again, obviously with the airport, there's less friction, more wide open space, but still the winds were gusting 60-plus miles per hour yesterday. That is not far from hurricane strength yesterday during the afternoon. Even as the snow sort of ended and we saw some brief clearing yesterday. Winds will die down a little bit after about 3 o'clock today, but most of the daylight hours and the remainder of the daylight that we see today is going to be pretty gusty. But by this evening, notice the winds are down to between 5 and 15 miles per hour, and I'm expecting almost calm winds overnight. But again, the wind chills are going to only max out today around the mid-20s, and that's going to be later on today, this afternoon even. But most of the day is going to be very, very cold. But the good news is that we have sunshine today, and that's going to help us melt a little bit, and then we're going to have sunshine into next week as well. Monday looks good. Tuesday looks good. But I do want to show you some rain off to the west Tuesday during the day. So we do have a 20% chance of rain on the Tuesday 7-day forecast, but it's really for the very, very tail end of the daylight hours of Tuesday. But notice by 7 p.m., rain is pushing into West Georgia, and then by 11 o'clock Tuesday night, it looks pretty widespread. I've got about a 60 to 70% chance of rain Tuesday night after dinner through the overnight. The good news is that I'm not seeing this linger too much into Wednesday morning. But it could linger a little bit. Notice that 40% chance of rain, because I do expect a decent portion of the morning hours Wednesday to be cloudy and maybe rainy, but I'm seeing also signs that the rain that we see Tuesday night will break apart a little bit and not be quite as widespread into Wednesday. That's the reason we have not first alerted Wednesday just yet. But if we see signs that heavier rain could impact more of that commute Wednesday, we'll be on guard, of course, and keep you posted. Otherwise, we're looking at a brief dip in temperature next Thursday, but I want you to focus on Tuesday and next Friday. We have 58 and 59 degrees, and some of you probably will see low 60s Tuesday and Friday, which is a near 60-degree turnaround from the 0-degree wind chills that we saw this morning. So, but today is a day with that level of cold, which has been so long and prolonged. I did some research before I stepped out here, and the last time the wind chill was above freezing in Atlanta was 11 p.m. Friday night. So we have not seen anything remotely close to freezing here. We will see the air temperature get above freezing today, and then, of course, the big thaw comes next week with highs getting into the 50s Monday and Tuesday. But again, today is that first alert weather day for the continued cold, and it does get cold tonight. Some of you will see single digits and low teens again, so keep those pipes dripping, keep all the outdoor plumbing stuff wrapped if you can. It's been wrapped up a while. We've been very cold and very active the past few weeks in January, but February, we've turned the page and a new month is here, and most of the week here is looking pretty good with temperatures again rebounding after today's first alert weather day. We have much less intense cold to get through and no wintry precip at this point. Again, 10:36. We appreciate you spending some time with us on Atlanta News First Plus this morning. We'll transition out of weather now into some breaking news. Out on the east side of the metro, we'll bring in Megan Packer here in DeKalb County, as well as Gwinnett police officers investigating. So Megan here with the latest.
All right, Isaac, thank you. Good morning, everybody. Megan Packer here. We do have some breaking news that we are on top of in Stone Mountain. So we want to get right out to Atlanta News First reporter Mary Kate Hamilton live at this scene. We see it taped off there, law enforcement on the scene. Mary Kate, what can you tell us at this point?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're here at the Holiday Inn Express in Stone Mountain. You can see a massive law enforcement presence here. I'm going to tell you that Gwinnett County Police, Georgia State Troopers, we've also confirmed that the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, they are all on scene here. You can see this happened at the Holiday Inn Express. An officer was able to confirm that to us. Now, we don't know much right now. However, we do expect to hear from the Chief of Police for Gwinnett County in just a bit here. Obviously, this is a huge investigation, and so they don't want to put anything out too soon. However, again, we do have confirmed that the Georgia Bureau of Investigation has been asked to assist in this investigation. This is not always the case, but oftentimes when the GBI is assisting on a large case such as this one, it can sometimes mean that an officer was involved. And what I mean by that is it is possible that an officer either shot at or was shot by a civilian here at the Holiday Inn Express. Now, I was able to speak to some people who were on the scene also waiting for information. They tell me that they were the mother of a potential suspect as well as siblings of a potential suspect. They too do not know much at this moment. They are also heading to the hospital. That is where media is heading in just a few moments in order to get a statement from the Chief of Police. Once we get that, then we will be able to confirm some more details for you. Right now, not much we can confirm other than the large police presence here and exactly where we are. Megan?
Mary Kate Hamilton for us live at that scene. We will let you continue to work that, talk to police, and keep us updated as soon as you have more to share. Mary Kate, thank you. Of course, the other big headlines we are tracking today really involve all around the weather and just how cold it is. We just got the update from Isaac, bitterly cold temperatures after yesterday's snowfall. So let's talk a little bit about how it's affecting the airport, because we know there were a ton of cancellations and delays yesterday. Here's a look at the current numbers as of today. Into and out of Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International, we're talking about 119 delays right now, 92 cancellations today at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International. We're looking at some pictures that we got yesterday from the airport. Their crews were working nonstop, as you can imagine, to keep things running as smoothly as possible. But we know that not only Atlanta was affected, but just that snowstorm that affected so much of the Southeast really made for some tricky travel yesterday. So as always, we will advise you to just check the status of your flight, talk to your airline if you need to deal with rebooking. Some of them were waiving fees when it came to canceling and delays, but each airline has its own different set of rules with that. Not only the airport, but the roads were really tricky in some areas. I'm thinking specifically for Forsyth County, Murray County yesterday, who really saw it. This is some video from Forsyth County yesterday. If you were with us on the air yesterday, live on Atlanta News First, we watched as cars tried to maneuver up some hills. They were slipping and sliding. Some of them were just turning around because they didn't even want to risk this. I know one of our crews interviewed a woman live on the air saying, hey, I've got bald tires. I cannot even mess with this. My dad is coming to pick me up. People were ditching their cars. So, this is something a lot of people are just not used to driving in here in Georgia. Murray County search and rescue crews had to rescue at least 13 people from cars who slid off of Grassy Mountain or ran out of gas in that area. And really, the low temperatures today are not helping. Really, nothing will melt today because of how absolutely cold it is, especially when you factor in those wind chills. So the officials have been preaching it, but do not drive in these areas that are still snow-covered, ice-covered as of yesterday, because those roads will not be seeing some relief for a while. So we know a lot of you were able, to enjoy it, but it was no joke on some of these roads. But let's talk about, safety, keeping you safe if you have to head out today. We know there are churches that were maybe changing up their plans on this Sunday, some maybe going virtual. So just check with your church, check with your school district as well. We know some districts are already making changes looking ahead to tomorrow. Gilmer and Fannin County schools have announced that they will be having a virtual learning day for their students tomorrow. I checked, a lot of the metro Atlanta school districts right now have canceled their weekend activities, and you can find that running list on atlantanewsfirst.com. We've got that orange banner across the homepage there. It's a running list of closing and delays. All of the districts are just saying at this point that they're going to be monitoring how things are looking for tomorrow. So just keep it here with us. Watch that banner on our homepage as we continue to update the closings and delays. But again, as far as what we're noticing, as far as closures for tomorrow, Gilmer and Fannin County schools will have a virtual learning day. The risk of hypothermia is very serious if you're outside. That's when the body temperature is abnormally low, and just the risk of this is going up right now with these wind chills that we are seeing right now. So check on your friends, check on your neighbors, elderly neighbors. We are talking about people that could be exposed to temperatures outside very quickly, and it could quickly mean some health-related issues. We are talking about people that might need help with food, with heating, with getting some food. There is a homeless population in Metro Atlanta with many warming centers that are open in various Metro Atlanta counties, in the city of Atlanta. Those doors are open for people who might need some help and a warm place to stay. Just the risk is extremely high for people to run into trouble with these temperatures right now. DeKalb County has teamed up with Frontline Response to minimize risks for people who would be outside. We're not only talking about the homeless population, but there are people who are unfortunately affected by apartment fires, house fires right now. We know there was an apartment fire in DeKalb County last night. Can you imagine having to be forced out into these temperatures right now after an apartment fire? So we know the Red Cross is helping people in Dunwoody after that fire yesterday. So that's what these warming centers are there for. They are there for anybody who needs a warm place to lay down, have a roof over your head, and there are those resources out there. So it's just a matter of asking people, again, check on people who you may know who might need that helping hand to see if you can help point them in the right direction. So we've got some viewer video getting back to the snow from yesterday. It is so bitterly cold, but there was some fun to be had. It was gorgeous, and this is something we don't see that often. So thanks to everybody who sent in your awesome video. Sterling Troy in Towns County, I believe this is from yesterday, sent this in yesterday. Absolutely gorgeous, especially if you can watch it from the comfort of your warm home. Todd Saxton in Rabun County sent us this awesome video. And in Habersham County, we've got some viewer video as well. Okay, let's watch. We've got a sledder. Did you break the sled out yesterday? Let's see how this, look at that. I mean, that is a ton of snow. There they go. That is gorgeous. That is gorgeous. How much fun is that? And it was a Saturday, so the kids were able to get out and enjoy it. They didn't have to worry about a school snow day. That was one good thing we kept talking about yesterday was, at least people were already off the roads. It was a weekend. But this is gorgeous. I know some of us saw this. Some of us only saw a few flurries. So it really was so interesting to watch how that storm system kind of unfolded throughout the day. We were getting texts from friends when we were on the air yesterday saying, am I going to see any snow today? time, 30 miles away, they're getting 6 inches of snow. So that's what Isaac and the whole First Alert team of meteorologists was here tracking for us. So keep it with us throughout the day. Obviously, lots to track. The breaking news where Mary Kate is in Gwinnett County. We've got all of the cold weather that we are monitoring for you. We are going to have hourly updates today here on Atlanta News First Plus. I'm Megan Packer. Thanks so much for checking in with us, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you for watching ANF Plus. For more breaking news, live coverage, and your community stories, download the Atlanta News First app. You can also watch us on YouTube, Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV. To join the conversation on YouTube Live, visit our channel and hit subscribe. You can also listen to the Atlanta News First podcast by searching Atlanta News First on your preferred listening platform.